this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping back. Today I'm going to show you how I painted this type of a flower. And this is just a practice design that I did on a piece of palette paper. But I will actually be doing a smaller version on one of my little canvases like I did in my last video. And this is a 6x6 nice, very nice canvas. I got this from Jerry's Artorama, and it is 6x6, an inch and a half thick. I really like the thickness, and it's the Creative Mark, the Edge. Again, love these canvases. I think they're such a nice quality canvas. I will be doing this design, and I'm thinking I probably need to cut it down some. I won't be able to do that exact design because of the size of the canvas, obviously, comparison, to the surface that I'm going to be doing it on. I'm going to have to make it smaller but do something similar. So you'll get the gist of it from the painting. I will be using a number 10 flat brush, and I believe, well, I guess there's two 10s, so I guess I'll just be using a 10, a small Scruffy. These brushes are all the one-stroke brushes. In my original painting I did the 3/4 brush, but that's why I say with this painting I'm going to have to cut it down so I can get it to fit. And then the fine line nail brush, the long. I love this brush. Again, it's a nail brush, that's the intention, but I love it for actually doing things around the center of my flowers. And it's by Winstonia. Alright, paints that I'll be using: Peridot and Thicket for my leaves, my greeneries. Using warm white and Cerulean Blue for the flowers. And then in the center of the flower I'm using my School Bus Yellow, which I am almost out of, and my Coffee Bean. Alright, so I'm putting the paint aside and we will get started with the painting. Alright, so I'm going to start. My intention is to have the bigger flowers down here and kind of swoop up this direction. We'll see if I can manage. Now, one of the colors I'm actually doing is, let me show you this, for the inside part of the flower, because there's two layers of petals, is a combination of the Wicker White and the Cerulean Blue. It's something I mixed on my own, which I don't often do a lot of color mixing. I'm trying to get better at that, creating some different colors. Alright, so let's get started on the first little, kind of a bud maybe, but not so much. I don't know really how to describe it. So basically what I'm doing, using my flat brush, I am doing a swoop up. I'm coming down, swooping back up, coming down, and swooping back up and down. Then I'm going to continue on because I'm trying to use the lighter color for the other parts of the flower. And then I'm going to go over here and do basically the same thing. The middle petal is higher. I'm just going to go over it again, so I'm basically swooping up, going back up, coming down, going back up, and coming down. And then we will continue. Now, the problem I was having with this design was trying to get it so that I can overlap the petals. So on this open one, it's basically the same thing, very easy strokes, and I'm just going to continue. You can leave a space if you want, or you can just keep like touching and going on. Now that one I didn't get quite the way I wanted it to look. Again, very easy to go back over it, swoop back. Now, you can do it in a manner where, let's make sure I'm still on here, where you do like this and stop, go back up and stop, go back up and stop. You can do it that way if you wish. Doesn't really matter. But I'm just doing it in a manner where I'm just continuing on and scooping, going up and down without bringing my brush up. Either way is fine, whatever you're more comfortable with. I just keep turning my surface, the canvas, okay. And I am kind of scraping off some of my paint. I just don't like to have a lot of paint on my brush, where a lot of people, they really like to have their brush really loaded with a lot of paint. I don't really care to have it with that much paint on it. I feel like sometimes it makes it too muddled. Okay, now this one, I'm going to kind of start here, bring it back up, come down, bring it back up. Because the one thing with this project is trying to, I want to only do partial flowers, but then trying to make it like they're overlapping in some respects, if that makes sense. So like this one here, I could actually probably go a little bit further, go back up a little bit more, out, go back up, and kind of circle it around. And then I'm going to do another fuller looking one. Let's kind of start it up here. I'm going to get lost in what I'm doing here. Excuse me on that. The biggest problem with doing this design was just getting the spacing right so that I was achieving the look I wanted. And you can go back the other, if you're comfortable painting in different directions, you can do that. And if I wanted to look like this was overlapping more, I can come back in here and do that. It's okay to go in and keep working it. It's perfectly fine. If you like my videos, please make sure that you give me a big thumbs up. Also, if you like my videos, I would appreciate it if you would share. I am trying to build my channel, and I'll be doing some different things. I'm getting into the rock painting, so any of you that are familiar with that, there's a lot of rock groups that you paint rocks, you hide them, find them. If you find one, then you share it, share pictures of it online, and then you, this one I didn't do quite so right, then you rehide it. And I'm getting into that. I've been doing some stones for a friend of mine who's sick and enjoyed that. I've always had an interest in painting stones. Then I heard about these different groups and I thought, oh my gosh, it sounds like so much fun. Just something light and fun to do. Something where maybe you're making a difference for somebody. You know, who knows. But I think it sounds like a good time. So that's what I'm going to be doing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you know me, I kind of like to do my stuff in odd numbers. Alright, so the next thing that I'll do is go back over it, add in the next color of blue. And again, it's something I mixed on my own. It's a mixture of the Cerulean Blue and the warm white. I can't really tell you a color, it's just the mixture of the two. But it's a lighter blue. And the purpose of that is just to try to give some distinction between the two layers. I've got paint or water on my hands. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to just do it like this. Come down and join up and then flip back over this way. Okay, just very simple. So it's just a matter of starting here, kind of doing the same kind of, and then going up like that. And I might do the same on this one. And actually I'm not going to. So I'm going to do something just a smidge different on the next one. This one I'm just going to bring the petal down like that. So each one is a little bit different. And this one I'm going to do the same thing. However, I'm going to bring this down and then do a petal going down like that. Just a little bit different. You know, it doesn't have to be anything major. Now the next few, as you'll see, I'm trying to put this in basically the same way as I did the first part, but just not as much. Or, you know, it's not as large, I guess I should say. And this mod is a little bit in there. And I'm just going to concentrate on this right now. I may need to go back over in my darker blue a little bit to do some adjustments. So it gives it a nice little contrast. Too much white. Nice little contrast between the darker and the lighter blue. And you may need to go in and clean this one up a little bit when you're ending, which is fine. Also keep in mind you're going to be tapping in a center. Alright, so here we go with this one. These are so cute. So in the comments below, let me know what your next project is going to be. I would love for you to show me pictures of your projects. I'm still waiting for people to do that. I mean, it's kind of fun to learn from people. You know, get an idea of you know, designs and thought processes that you have. How you do something may be a little bit different than how I do it. Just fine. That's what it's all about. Giving your own little twist. You know, if you, like say, take a design you see and make it your own, that's perfectly fine. Put your own little twist on it. Nothing wrong with that. That's how we get inspiration, is from things that we see. I'm sorry, hopefully you're not hearing my dog barking upstairs. Crazy blue healer. Okay, so let me take a look here and some parts of this I might want to go back to my darker color and just see where, like, that's kind of overlapping there. I just want to make sure that they're overlapping in the spots that I want them to overlap. That's kind of too light looking for some reason. Hold on. I need to get that lighter blue out. And lighter blue. And if you're okay with this, that's fine. It doesn't have to be, but I'm just going to kind of touch this up a smidge. Make it look like it's kind of going over into this one a little bit. And I could have done this prior to, I should have done this prior to putting my center in. I could get the gist of it though. That's why I say with this one it was a little bit more difficult because of trying to do some of the overlapping that I was doing. I should have probably done that first. And I'll go back in a little bit with this blue. And you get the gist of it. And like with this one, I could do the same or just make it like it's coming over on this flower here, which is probably what I'll just leave it here to do. I'm not sure why this is bleeding up here. Not sure why that's doing that. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not going to mess with that. I'll leave it alone because I feel like the more I mess with something, the worse I can make it. So I'm not going to do that. Alright, let's go ahead and add in the greenery. And we'll get that rolling. Like I said, right now I always use the Thicket, no matter what my next paint is that I'm using with it. I like the darker green. Alright, so let's go ahead and start adding in here. And I'm just going to do basically the ruffly kind of leaves. Make sure I don't get any paint on this canvas on the side, because I was not planning on painting it. And let me go back in here. Run that all the way down. And then bring my little stem through, which I might need a little bit more of the green on there. Like so, this one has a lot of leaves to it. I'm going to fill it up. And again, with your leaves, you can do a mixture. You can switch colors as far as having the dark on the inside, the outside, however you want it to be, to mix it up a little bit. So basically, like I could do this one instead, putting the lighter on the outside. Still doing the similar leaf, but it'll look a little different because it has the darker color on the inside as opposed to the outside. So I mean, you can see the contrast. So I'm trying to be cautious and not do too much touching of this canvas, because I always have paint on my hands and seem to get paint in other places that it shouldn't be. I'm good at that. So with this, obviously it's easy just to pick the canvas up, bring it down, and then do it again. Now I just have to remember I did this and not touch it. Which again, for me, that can be difficult to remember as I'm going along. But it's okay. I did not do a base coat on this canvas this time. So you will see that I just do the plain white, which I think is fine. And this one I'm doing the dark on the outside. And then when I'm coming down here, I'm just kind of touching it as I go. I should do the darker in the center. Alright, just continue on adding these. You know, and if you're someone who doesn't really like a lot of leaves, it's fine. You don't need to put as many on as I'm doing. You know, adjust it and make it what you want it to be, not what I'm doing. Alright, so with these little doodads here, and look, I did get some on there. Now I'll have to clean it off. Alright, so these, I'm just basically going to do a little vine, and then I'm going to take my brush and just kind of go up a little bit into the flower, and then repeat over here, do something similar. Now you can act like you're putting a vine in there if you want, the vining in there like that. Not necessary, you don't have to. And then I'll do the same with this one, kind of just coming up over the flower a little bit, bringing it together, just with these simple little leaves. And then come back down here like that with it. One thing with this Peridot, it is a metallic paint, so it gives some shimmer. I love it. And then come back in here, like I said, and add just some little vining. You can do that with a darker on these if I want. And I'll pull this into that. Do the same here. And I'm going to overlap a little bit, which is fine. See a little bit of blue there. Not a big deal. And again, with any of this, if you want to wait till your paint dries more before you go on to the next layer, feel free to do so. I typically am impatient and I just want to keep moving, so I don't do that unless I really, really have to. And there are times where you'll feel like that's necessary, but not always. In my world, not often. Because like I said, I'm pretty impatient when it comes to waiting for things to dry. Not real good about it. Okay. And then this one, I'm going to put the dark on the outside. I'm going to bring it up here kind of to cover up that little thing. Now on this particular one, I'm doing the light, dark, light, dark. You can do that as well. Alright, and let's see. I might do some more of, there's some of this kind of leaf, which is just a basic little touch and pull kind of leaf, just to be a filler. And I'm going to just do a quick little stem going from one to the next. like that. And okay, I think I'm going to stop with that part of it right now. Then we'll go back over. I'm going to try to give the center a little chance to dry. And I'm really short on my yellow here, my school bus yellow. So I'm hoping I can get enough out of it to do this. I need to get some more. Let's see here, put that there. I'm double loading my brush, just putting a little bit of yellow on one side and brown on the other. And then I'm going to go back in here and just try to put my centers in. Hopefully it's dry, because if not, then it gets kind of muddled. I'm not going to overwork my centers since I have a limited amount of paint. So I'm trying to keep them as little as I can. And like I said, some of the paint is still wet. Again, you might want to allow more drying time. But for the purpose of this video, I am doing it sooner than I probably should. To really get a nice center. But they're alright. I mean, they're working out. I practiced this so many times I used my yellow. Alright, so we have one little one here, so I'm kind of got some more yellow in here. Need to probably put some more brown in this one. Don't make it too muddled. I mean, you get the gist. You're getting the gist, I'm sure. So on those, that's what I'm doing. The next thing I'm going to do is go in, actually I probably need to lay some new down, with my warm white and stick my little liner brush, the fine liner brush. I'm just sticking it down into my paint like that. Might want to wipe it off just a smidge because I don't want it to be too thick, but I'm just going to go around it like this. I'm barely touching and just kind of pulling. And the one thing I like, because I've never been able to get really thin lines when I'm doing this on a painting. Mine always seem to be like really thick, but with this kind of a brush, it really allows you to touch and just pull and just make, you know, fun little movements with it, which I think, you know, really helps accent the center. Yeah, but with a nice little thin kind of crispy little lines, and you can just make them go in different directions to give them some movement. Like I said, I love this brush. You can really, you know, have quite a bit of control with it too. More control than you would think, as big as it is, because I've never really liked like the one-stroke liner brushes and stuff that were really big. I just always felt like they're kind of bulky. With this one being so thin, you know, the bristles are just, you know, thin. It allows you to do the fun little strokes. And like I said, you can put on as much as you want, as little as you know, if you don't really want. So I'm going to go up in here to my little partially open, well, I guess they're really not even open. My buds, I guess, if you want to call them that. Kind of think of a bud more as something that's more closed than these are. But you get it. You get it, I'm sure. Alright. I love them. I think this is just very, very neat. Okay, so I have that. Like I said, you can fuss with the centers as much or as little as you want. You know, in my sample, I kind of went in and just kind of did some dotting, you know, just some light, not really precise dotting, but yeah, just give it some interest. That's all this is doing, is finishing your flower and giving it some interest. And doing it even on the little buds. Alright, so then the final thing that I'm doing is just going to add in some dotting. Just kind of doing these more like my filler instead of doing it with leaves or some kind of a flower. I'm doing it with dots. I guess I'd giving it some more interest. I don't get too carried away with it, but I think I could. I really do. And I feel like this needs some here. Just kind of filling up some of the white space, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to do too much of it. Well, that one didn't work at all. And this one I'll pull down the side a little bit. I think that's plenty. Alright, so if you decide to paint this design or a similar design, I would love to see it. Let me know what you think about this project down in the comments. And until the next video, make sure you subscribe so you get my next video. Give me a big thumbs up, share, and please give a comment down below. See you soon. Thanks again for stopping by.